warehouse was completely empty. That's what made the checklist so terrifying. This story takes place on the outskirts of a quiet Midwestern city, where a man named Ray worked the night shift. His job was to inspect a decommissioned cold storage facility. The main power had been cut years ago. The freezers drained. The only light came from the dim, buzzing emergency fixtures scattered throughout the vast, cavernous space. It was 1:33 a.m. when it happened. A clipboard hanging on a hook by the main office door suddenly slid off and clattered to the floor. Ray sighed, thinking it was just the wind, and went to pick it up. But when he did, he saw a freshly printed sheet of paper clipped to the front. The ink was still slightly damp to the touch. It read, "Inventory live." Ray let out a nervous laugh. A prank, maybe. One of the day crew guys messing with him. But then the temperature plummeted. The air grew so cold, so fast, that his breath turned to fog in front of his face. Down the long, dark aisle, a heavy freezer door clicked open all by itself. Inside, harsh blue lights flickered on, illuminating a conveyor belt that began to slowly creep forward. The belt was empty. Above it, a digital display blinked to life with glowing red letters. Items missing. Ray's radio, silent for his entire shift, crackled. A voice came through a supervisor he hadn't heard from in years, one who had retired. The voice was distorted, staticky, but clear. Begin count. All around him, the towering metal shelves began to rattle. Plastic bins slid out from the darkness, ranging themselves into neat rows. Little printers' words spitting out labels that slapped themselves onto empty crates. Organic, perishable. The conveyor belt ground to a halt. A digital scale next to it chimed loudly. Weight detected. Ray frantically looked around. The floor was empty. There was nothing there. Suddenly, the freezer door slammed shut behind him, sealing him in the aisle. The digital display updated. Substitute required. The temperature dropped again, now far below freezing. Frost raced up the concrete walls in intricate, branching patterns like icy veins. On the conveyor belt, another tag printed out, fluttering down onto the empty scale. It had his name on it. Ray H., the supervisor's voice returned to his radio, this time softer, almost apologetic. Rotation keeps spoilage down. The scale's display spiked, showing a heavy weight. The conveyor lurched forward. Ray screamed and yanked the emergency pull cord. Nothing happened. He ran to the main panel and smashed the breaker with his flashlight. The lights, the display, everything died. Just as suddenly, warm air rushed back into the space like a breath that had been held for too long. The doors unlocked. Ray didn't hesitate. He ran. The morning crew found the warehouse just as it should be, dark, powerless, and silent. There were no logs, no triggered alarms, but the facility's inventory ledger, a digital system that was supposed to have been wiped clean years ago, had one new entry. It was timestamped 1:36 a.m. and read, stock adjusted, balanced. They say that if you ray ever near an old cold storage freezer and you hear it humming after midnight, don't check the inventory, because some warehouses don't just store things, they store replacements. Thanks for listening to this American horror story. Follow Hunted Scary. Home for more.